Hello guys, good morning. So everyone able to hear me? Can you please confirm where the I am or you can just respond back?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we can
clear.
hear you.
And also, can you able to see the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
Yes, sure.
sure. Okay guys, please be on mute so that I can quickly start the session and we'll go ahead. So, so let me introduce myself. So my name is Shivakumar. I have 6+ years of experience into Microsoft Azure cloud technology and currently working as a team lead in one of the MNC's firm for Azure DevOps projects right now. And so right now, what I'm going to teach you is, Azure, Microsoft Azure 7533. So earlier I worked in Microsoft as a support administrator, support engineer, senior support engineer, and worked in Google, so a lot many MNC firms. And so this is a basic introduction about myself. So what I'm going to cover and what are the certifications that we have in Azure, just we'll have a look at it. Let me quickly discuss about the certifications that we have, and then we'll quickly move into the demo session. Yesterday, I think we have already seen some certifications because it's due to some technical issues or something. So we haven't able to move forward and we haven't able to see in the demo session. So let me quickly show you something. So yeah. So first certification in Azure is 1 second. One second, guys. Let me connect this back. Give me a second. I'll be back because this device is a bit disgusting. 2 minutes, guys. I'll just rejoin the session.
Hello.
No. Sorry guys, I'm back. Just let me, I think you're able to see my screen. So quickly start the part. I mean, what are the trainings what are the certifications that we have? I will see those quickly. So first certification that we have is 7532. 7532 is purely a developer certification. The certification name is called Developing Microsoft Azure Solutions. Microsoft Azure Solutions. So this certification is purely for the developers who are into the development background. Let's say if you know Java technology, let's say you have Python knowledge, so then purely you can take this certification. So once they do this certification, what they'll become. So let's say if if you do the certification, you know some .NET coding or something. Then if you just learn the certification, what you will achieve is like by using the Azure infrastructure, you can start writing the code and you can deploy your resources, deploy your applications into the Azure infrastructure. So this certification is purely for the developers, and so the cost of the certification is also 4,800 rupees, and there will be GST charges again. So this is purely for the developers, and 4,800 rupees plus 300 GST or something. I'm not sure. So it would be around 5,000 change. So this is purely for the developers. If you know any Java, .NET, Python, then only you are eligible to take. I mean, not only eligible, like you can even learn, but it takes a lot of time in order to learn the platform, right? So again, one more certification is 7533. 7533 is purely a administrator certification. Admin certification. Name of the certification is implementing Microsoft Azure solutions, which means if you learn the certification, so let's talk about the prerequisites. You don't require any prerequisites for this certification 7533 because you even administrators who are into the certification is purely for the admin background, like who are into system administrators, IT administrators, server admin, network admin, storage. So who are into the purely into the network background, they can go ahead and they can take the 7533 certification. So there is no prerequisite required, and also a fresher who are actually new to this current IT platform, so they can also go and take the certification 7533. So how much time it takes to learn? It takes only 30 days. So what you're gonna learn here is you're gonna learn the deployments part. Let's say deployments in the sense, let's say you get a request in order to create some servers, that whatever the system administrator job or server admin job in real time. So similarly, they'll get a request like creating a server. They'll create the servers in on premises in their current office infrastructure. But in 7533, we are going to use Microsoft Azure cloud platform, and we are going to deploy those resources as per the request. We are going to deploy those in cloud platform. So, and also we'll also see how to troubleshoot those issues. Let's say if you get some performance issues or connectivity issues to those resources, we are going to troubleshoot those and we are going to fix it on time. And then you should make sure that your production environment is up and online 24/7. So this certification is purely for the administrators who are new to the technology and also who are into administrators background. Even developers also can take the certification. Once they know about the infrastructure, they can even start deploying it. So similarly, so 7532 and 533 will be similar. All the components, like let's say the topics that we are going to discuss is like similar only, but a few changes will be like only with the development part in 532. So if you know the platform, you will write the code inside the infrastructure. But in 533, your responsibility is to make sure that infrastructure is up and online. So the cost of the certification is same like 532. It's like 4,800 plus 300 GST. I'm not sure about the GST. Again, the cost may changes. So this is 7533. Now we have final certification called as 7534. This is earlier we call it as 534. Right now it is 535 because 534 is the 534 examination paper consists of some old stuff. Let's say Microsoft Azure has random changes. They'll start changing their infrastructure, which means like they'll update the features in Azure. So that's the reason it is in a good place in the market right now. So if you see this in 534, you have old stuff. So that's the reason the paper 7534 examination paper got appreciated by Microsoft. And now 535 is in picture right now, which means you have latest terminology and latest questions in this paper. So what is this paper and what is the certification name? Certification name is Architecting Microsoft Solutions. Architecting Microsoft Azure Solutions. So in this certifications, what you're gonna learn is you're gonna learn how to you should have entire knowledge on Azure platform. Let's say a client walk in and let's say he shares some information. So your task is to build an architectural diagram, and then the support engineers work on it, and then developers start writing their code, and then they prepare the applications. Let's take a small example how the process goes. Architect in the sense, I think some of you guys know already about this architect job role, but let me quickly put into a small example. So you all guys know about the normal in construction field we have the engineers, right? Or we can also say architects. So these guys, let's say you want to build some house. You go to the contractor and you say like, hey, this is my budget. This is my budget. I want to build some house. And now what he does within your budget, within your place, he will first of all he prepare a plan and he will share it to you. Okay, this guy will create some diagram, which means an architectural design for your house, new house. He'll prepare a plan and then he'll share it with support engineers who are the administrators. Administrators task is to build it like a labels. So how the labels do it. I mean, in fact, we are not labels here in the cloud, but just an example. So your task is to these guys will prepare the infrastructure, which means let's say in this architectural diagram he says like for a single project he says like we need some 3 servers and 2 databases and application inside. So there are some resources he have added, and your task is to, as an administrator, you need to create those resources. You will get each and everything. Let's say if you are creating a server, you will get the name, in which region you want to create, you'll get the IP address, everything you'll get it. Okay, and also you'll get the approvals also for those in order to deploy it in Azure cloud. So once you get the approvals and you start deploying the resources, and your part is to deploy and troubleshooting in case if any connectivity issues. So your task is done. Now once you deploy the Azure infrastructure, now these guys come into the picture. Developers, they start accessing those resources and they start writing the code. Let's say we are working on a .NET project, then the .NET developers come into this, and we give access to these guys. These guys start accessing those machines and they start writing their code by using some tools like Visual Studio, so those kind of stuff. So, but now here exact processes they are actually writing the code and building the application. So whatever the client is requested, so once client shares the information to him, he shares a plan, and then our task is to deploy the resources, and then developers write the code and they build the applications. Once the testing phase everything is done, then the product is delivered to the client. So whatever the task these three guys are doing is completely to make sure that we are delivering the project on time. Okay, this is what the process is. Let's quickly get into the Azure demo session. If you guys have any doubts regarding the certifications, you can ask me.
Hello,
Yep.
this is Saikon.
Yep.
I mainly clients are different type of clients are available, but hospital clients, which type of requirements there?
I didn't get you. So okay, okay. You're asking about the requirement. Okay, quickly cover that part. Okay. So requirement in the sense, let's say a client. Let's say you started a company. I think you can be on mute. I'll explain you. In case if you get any doubt, let me know. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah. So let's say a client. You started a company. A customer came to you and he asked, okay, he want to develop some. He needs an Android application. As a startup company, you are having some startup company. Okay, what you will do? You put some three developers on that project, and you will tell your developers that hey, he's your client. Okay, he is having some requirement of Android application. He will explain. Client will come to your office and he will explain everything. So this is what the requirement is, and I need it as soon as possible by next month. Okay, then he will also share all the details like in which platform. Let's say you want to use a .NET or you want to use a Java. Because if client is not technical, then our developers will explain because this technology would be good for you. This will be good for you. So entire the requirement and the client discussion will be taken care by the business analyst. So these guys will take care of that part. And after the client has given the requirement, they will document everything, and then the document will be shared to the architects. So then architects will understand the requirement, and then they prepare the plan, architectural diagram for that project. So if it's a small project, they will give a small infrastructure diagram. Then they take the architectural diagram and that will be shared with the admin team, and then you get a support request accordingly, and then you start preparing your infrastructure. Once you are done with the infrastructure part and all the services are up and running, then developers come into the picture and they start writing the code in Python or .NET or Java, whatever it may be. So then, that's how the application will be built, and then it is tested accordingly in different phases. And once the testing phase is done, if the application is working fine within the time that the customer has specified, the application will be delivered to the customer. That's how the process goes on, and that's the way he shares the requirement. Did I answer you?
Yes, my main doubt is the companies are different type of companies, different type of clients are available.
Mm-hmm.
Hotspot in mainly Azure can be using. Which type of services in Hotspot does? Normal companies are they will provide infrastructure, virtual machines, and different type of storages. But Hotspot
Mhm.
is how to use back to Azure.
Right, got you. So Azure is completely a cloud platform because each and every company right now they have started using the cloud technologies. So not only Azure, there are a lot of cloud service providers like AWS, Google Cloud. So we have some. I have some answers for you because we'll see those answers in upcoming sessions. If I start the demo, you'll clearly understand why we are going to use only Azure, not the AWS or Google Cloud, and what are the benefits that you are going to get if you are migrating all your services into the cloud platform. Okay, each and everything I'm going to answer you. So quickly we'll start the demo session. This is just an introduction part about our certifications. Okay,
Okay.
so I
Okay,
think you
sir.
can be on mute because I can hear your voice. So some disturbances.
Okay.
Yeah, please be on mute. Yeah. Okay. Let me quickly open the PPT. Sure, demo.
Shiva,
Yep.
uh, I asked one question regarding that 775.
Okay, and I think I didn't check. So, yep, 1 second. So here in 7535, actually, I have missed one point. I'll come back to you once again. So in 7535, so if you want to take this certification 7535, you need to complete at least any of the one of the certification. Let's say you want to take an architect certificate, you need to go with 532 or 533. Otherwise, you can't take this directly 535 certification. If you want to be an architect, yes. If you are an admin or if you are into a development background, yes, you're always welcome to go to architect background easily if you take the certification. But anyhow, you have to complete either one of these. So then only you can become an architect by clearing the certification. So this is a requirement. And so can you please? So I got a doubt. I mean, someone asked me a doubt here regarding the 775 Raj. Okay. Here, 775 as per the client requirement should have mandatorily read 7533, 534 or 535 or directly. You can directly go to 775. You don't have any prerequisites for that. But it's recommended to learn the platform first. So what I recommend you here is just learn the platform, and then only you can, then only it's easily you can easily crack the 775 certification. So better to take the admin part, or if you are interested in development, then you can go to the development part and then you can take the certifications. Not only don't take the certification, it's not even required for you. You can just learn the platform, and then it would be very easy for you in order to clear that. Okay,
Okay.
just it's
So
a yeah.
534 and then move to 775.
Yep, cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
And yeah, cool. So one more point here, guys. So what I'm gonna give you assurance is I'm gonna give you 100% assurance that if you once after the 30 days of our session, so our 7533, we are gonna you guys gonna clear this 533 certification, and I'm gonna give you 100% guarantee. I'll help you in clearing and passing the 7533 certification, because I know of you guys who has the examination center. So if you actually what happens in examination centers is no other guys are allowed into the examination hall, because there will be security cameras monitoring you around you, and you need to book a slot, and then you need to go to your exam accordingly. So, but anyhow, I know I'll be there in that examination center in case if you have any doubts, or in case of any issues, I'll be there to help you. Let's say if you don't know a question, and I'll be there at any point of time. You can call me, and I'll be helping you. Don't worry about the securities and all security stuff. I'll just manage that part. Okay. So that's the reason I'm just giving you 100% pass guarantee for 7533. Definitely you can clear the certification after 30 days. So let's quickly get into the demo session. So first thing, what is the cloud computing? Because everyone, wherever you see nowadays, everyone are talking about cloud technology. So what is this cloud computing? Any guys, anyone have idea what are the benefits if you use the cloud technology? Okay, I'll quickly start about the cloud computing and what is this cloud computing. Okay, let's talk about the current IT infrastructure. Current IT infra in the sense, what are the resources happened? One second, guys. Okay, someone logged in. Okay, no problem. I thought I was disconnected. So quickly, right there, yeah. So servers, it may be a Windows or Linux. So databases, it may be SQL, Oracle, or some other databases. It may be storage, and fourth one, it may be a network. So so a lot of things. So IT infrastructure consists of a lot of resources. So these are the common resources that we have in our current IT infrastructure. Don't think about the cloud. It's just a comparison between the cloud and on-premises, like a normal IT infra. So these are all the resources that are required. Okay, servers are used to store some data, like it may be a critical data, or it is used to store some applications or host your applications. And so databases is also like storing some structure, storing some kind of secure data in order to make sure that you are just protecting your data by using these kind of resources. Storage is also used to store obviously data, not only data, like a lot more things you can do with the storage. Network is used. So without network, you can't able to access these resources. So there are a lot of stuff that you use in your real time. So if you see all these resources here, now we're gonna quickly move into our demo. So so in cloud computing, if you see the definition, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services like servers, storage, databases, networking software, analytics, and more over the internet connection. Just see this. So all these services, if you are providing over the internet connection, it is nothing but a cloud computing. Cloud computing. So let me explain you that definition once again. Delivering of all these compute resources like servers, storage, databases, networking components, software analytics, and more over the internet connection is nothing but a cloud computing. Let's say if you have an internet connection, you can access all these servers. No need to go to office, or you no need to no need to even let's say you should not be within a network, or you should not be restricted there. So if you have an internet connection, you can have access to all of these resources. So that's the reason whoever working in the cloud platform has a lot of work from home options. These are all the cloud. As this is the cloud platform, you can access them from anywhere, but you need to connect your office VPN connection, then only you'll be able to access your Azure subscriptions. So that's again another scenario. But the cloud computing is nothing but it's delivering of all these compute resources over the internet connection is called as a cloud computing. So whatever we see in the current IT infra, all these services are available in the cloud technology also. There are a lot of service providers. AWS is also offering the same. Azure is also offering the same. Google Cloud is also offering the same. But we'll see why we should only go with Azure. Currently, what is the difference? What are the differences, and what is the cost they're actually providing? We'll also see those points. So this is a basic introduction about cloud computing. So let's say cloud, I said like these all resources are accessible over the internet connection. Now you get a question of security. So there are some customers, they raise a question security. So because we have all our information, company project details, company informations, everything are stored on these IT infrastructure. So if I just put it in somewhere in the cloud, let's say Azure is not a partner, or he doesn't know you, right? You doesn't know Microsoft properly, and you are just migrating all your applications or all your servers into the cloud platform, which means like you are just giving all your information, or you are uploading all your information into Microsoft data center. So it's not secured way. So how can it get the security? That's the reason Microsoft has classified this into three types of security models. So these three are the important security models. These three questions you'll get in the interview also. So one is a private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. Let's see it in a classified way. Let me give a small introduction about this private, public, and hybrid. Now we'll quickly start with public cloud. Public, private, hybrid. So public cloud. What is a public cloud? Public in the sense everyone. We are all the public, right? So let's say what are the services, servers, databases, storage, everything. You These are accessible over the internet connection. Let's say public in the sense everyone are there, not only you, not only me, everyone are there. Let's say there are also hackers in the current world. So these guys, they'll make some issues in the issues. So what are the issues they will do? So let's say if you let's take a quick example like Gmail. So Google Gmail, right? Everyone has the Google Gmail account. So let's talk about a Gmail. So how you gonna connect to that service or a web application? So you just type www.gmail.com, and you're gonna connect. So once you just search this page, once you search this DNS name, or you will have some IP address also for this, because we are familiar with this name, we are only using this DNS name. So let's say you access this page, and first question what you're gonna get is username and password. So once you give your proper username and password, then you click on sign in, you will be taken to your application inside, and then you'll be able to send some mails to your friends. You can able to access your inbox, and you can read your mails. So similarly, every service which is offered in over the internet, they have the IP address and username and password. So in cloud technology also we have the same concept. Let's say I have a server. So I think you guys are familiar with the server. Server has IP address or a name. Name is called as DNS name. So once if you want to access that machine server, you whenever you just enter the IP address, whenever you click on enter button, automatically you'll get a pop-up of username and password. Similarly, like Gmail, how you got it. Now, once you enter that, then only you will be able to access that machine. So you know, and then only you'll be able to access that server. That is called public server. If you are in the internet connection, if you are using internet connection from anywhere in the world, let's say you are in some other country like US, or you are in Australia, Germany. So you are anywhere in the world, you are in anywhere of the corner of the world. So if you have the internet connection, if you know the IP address, and if you are a valid person, like genuine, like username and password is yours, then only you can authenticate that machine and you can access that. That is a public cloud scenario. Then some customers come to the Microsoft and they question, so if you are giving this public cloud, what about the security and privacy of our services? Let's say if let's say you are the employee worked in a company, and you know the IP address of the server, and you left the company and you met some hacker and you shared the details to him. He started hacking that brute force technique, or by using some hacking techniques he started hacking that. So the security matters, right? So that is accessible to the public also, so everyone can have the, if let's say if I have the IP address, even I can try to access that, even though if I don't have the username and password, I try to do some vulnerability issue, make some vulnerabilities on that particular machine. So in case if you break the password and if you get into that machine, so gone, entire your security, entire your data is completely lost. So it's a breach again, security breach. So in order to make sure that if you are having some critical environment, so public cloud is nothing but just hosting a server and making that accessible to the public, not for the public actually, just say your employees, or you just, it's an option to make it as a public. Whoever having internet connection, they can access it. Let's talk about a private cloud. In private cloud, whoever having some security concerns, they can they can host their applications or servers or databases in a public cloud. What happens here is, the machines or servers, let's say you know the server name, and you just share that server name with your let's say you one of the hacker. He can't do anything because the server is not accessible to the public. Over the internet connection, you can't able to access it. You need an intranet connection. Let's quickly write it here. It depends on internet intranet intranet connection. Intranet, what is intranet? So let's say you joined a company. In MNC companies, they don't use internet, they use intranet connections, which means within the office they have a network. So within the office they only, so everyone within the office they can communicate. Okay, it's a, again internet, again I am just diverting to the basic concepts of networking. Okay, not a problem. Let's put it in some other way. So intranet is like, you joined a company, you have a network in your office. Within your network, within your office network, anyone, if you want to speak with anyone, you can communicate. The machines within the network can able to access other machine, and they can communicate. But let's say if you want to access the same machine from the outside of the, let's say, so there are some applications like PF related, or not PF, so some pay slips related or something. So those applications, if you know the name of that application, that will be work in your office. But if you come out of the office, or if you search in the mobile phone, it doesn't work, because it's a kind of restriction. That application is only available in intranet, not in internet. So this is how they are actually making the security. And now final topic is hybrid cloud. In hybrid cloud, so what is a hybrid cloud? It's a combination of both public and private cloud. So in some scenarios, if you want to use both private and public cloud, because no one, let's say a customer, he came to the Microsoft and he says like, hey, I only use a public cloud right now, so but I have some security concerns, so I want to use the private also. For those customers, right now we have hybrid cloud, public and private. These are the three important security models. You can use both private and public in hybrid cloud. Right now all the cloud platforms are hybrid cloud only, because you can use both features in your if let's say if it is Azure environment, you can use that features, public or private cloud in your scenario. We'll see this in detail right now. Let's quickly go to the next slide. So if I show you this slide, why to use the cloud? Why, first of all, why should I use? And what are these three options? Speed, scale, economic. And let's quickly see that topic. Speed, scale, economic. So first question, why should I use the cloud platform? So the question and the best example for this is, you started a company, a small startup company, and a client came to your company. Client has shared some requirement. He wants some Python application or a .NET application. Okay, let's take some iOS application. Okay, iOS application, and he shares some information. He shares the requirement with you, and then you started working on that. And for that application, in order to develop that, you need three developers. So three developers need some three dev machines in order to work. So dev servers. In right, let's say we have a server and each three servers, right? So these three servers having some configuration of 4 GB RAM and 2 gigahertz processor. So this is the server configuration that you are using. Let's say the fourth person, recently a fourth person joined your company. Now he's also developer. Let's say you want to prepare the infrastructure for him again. So in order to prepare a server, in order to create a prepare server and in order to give the access, there are a lot of approvals required, because a server is not a single identical machine. It has a lot of resources involved in it. Let's say a server consists of storage, because in order to store your data, a server consists of networking components. A server consists of OS in the sense it may be Windows or Linux. So storage, SAN, NAS, there are different types of storages available right now. Again, one more thing is storage, networking, operating system, and application. Let's say developers, they need some applications like Visual Studio. So by using these kind of applications, they start writing their code and I mean they develop the applications, right? iOS application, if they want to write some code for the iOS application, they need a platform to write. So we are using nowadays, we are using Visual Studio and so such kind of applications. So for that, again, you need to buy the license. So license here, in order to prepare the storage part, storage admin, you need to use a storage admin. And in order for the network admin comes into the picture. And for operating system, server admins. So if it is a Windows admin, if it is a Linux administrators, and if it is an application support engineers, app support engineers. So for a single server, if you are deploying it in your real time, in on premises, in your office, so these people need to come into the picture. And if they start working on one by one section, then only your server is deployed. A single person can't sit and create a server for you within fraction of seconds. It's not possible in the real world. Let's say we have some virtualization platform right now in the market like VMware or something. So it's easy to create, but there are certain circumstances here. So you can even create a virtual machine in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's not a big deal, but because technology is improved right now in on premises, in current platform, in virtualization platform, but you need these administrators. Without network administrator, let's say you need an IP address for this, and you need a DNS name, because network admin should be coming to the picture, and he need to prepare that IP addresses, DNS names, and then once he give access to that, then only you can add those IP address to that machine. And server administrators, without the server administrator, your server won't be up. And again, you need to purchase the operating system license. I missed a point here. License. So the cost. Think about the cost for a single server. If you are managing these many administrators, so we have seen 4 administrators here. And for a single server, whoever the developer is working, for a single server, we are maintaining 4 administrators. And also the cost, application license, operating system license, network license, the internet connection, wherever, let's say if you are hosting the server in your office, you need to maintain the power, you need to maintain the power backup, you need to take care of AC, air conditioning for this servers, because servers need a AC, otherwise, they will go down if you have any performances issues. So you need to take care of the storage, you need to purchase all this stuff. So it's almost like it is costing you for a single server per month, it is costing you almost like 70 to 80,000. 80,000. So it's not a small amount, right? Per month for a single server, you are investing a lot of amount. So let's talk about the cloud platform now. So what is the benefit that you're gonna get? So first option, so in Azure, if you take the Azure server, let's say a new employee, a new person joined your company, you want to develop a server, if you want to deploy a server within less than 5 minutes, you can create a server. Okay, so do we require a storage admin, network admin, server admin? No. A cloud technician, a cloud support engineer can deploy all these services at a time in cloud platform less than 5 minutes. Once you get the approval, you can deploy it in less than 5 minutes, and then you can give access to the developer. So developer can start work on that and he can prepare his application. So it may be a application inside this, it may be the operating system, it may be the network related issues like DNS, IP, so subnet, network security, firewalls, so storage, so it may be anything. See, let's say you can deploy this in 5 minutes. So what you are actually getting here, you are getting a good speed. Within a good speed, you are actually creating the infrastructure. Again, now what about the application, what about the licenses? So second option is, you know uh, Azure supports a lot of platforms. Earlier in 2010, when initially launched in 2010 February 1st, so you have only a compatibility of using .NET, because Microsoft is always a .NET based products. They launch .NET based application, so it is completely for .NET. Right now it is supporting all the platforms. And it's Azure is, when they initially started, Azure is in 25th position. Now it is in the second place, and it is a good competitor for the AWS cloud. So we'll see why to use Azure in the last PPT, last session. So sorry, not the last session, last slide. So first, so you're getting a good speed here. And what about the cost? What about the cost? It is supporting all the platforms. Okay, platform support. And also, let's say a server, three developers are working on a machine, and let's say they complain about the performance. Hey, we are writing some code, and the application is hanging continuously. Then you got the approval to upgrade the server. Now you need to, as this is a physical machine, you need to stop this. First of all, you need to shut down this machine, and then you need to upgrade this. You need to upgrade it from 4 GB to 8 GB. You need to bring that hardware, you need to bring that RAM, you need to remove that slot, and you need to add it back. So it's a process, it takes some time, and it's again a lengthy process in order to do the stuff. But in Azure cloud platform, you can scale this machine within 2 seconds. You can scale them up, you can scale them down. Let's say you have a performance issue, you want to upgrade the machine, it's a matter of less than 5 minutes, you can upgrade the machine. Let's say you don't want to use it, then you can downgrade the machine. This is called scaling, platform scaling. We can also, we call that feature as auto scale. So now we are done with the scaling part. So easily you can upgrade or downgrade by using the scaling feature in cloud. Let's say cost. As I said here, it is costing you some 70 to 80K. The similar service I am actually using in cloud, and the cost is around almost like only 1500 rupees. Depends upon the configuration you select. 1500 rupees. Where is 1500 rupees per month, and where is 70,000 to 80,000 per month? In order to give salaries to all those administrators in on-premise environment. But if you take it in Azure, only a single administrator can manage all this stuff. Then obviously all the companies started migrating their services and servers, databases, current IT infra to the cloud. And also the security point, we are actually talking about that. So Microsoft has a good security features. So let's talk about an Amazon right now. Amazon in 2016, there is a security breach happened. So due to that, a lot of customers, they lost their data. So they have filed a lot of cases, and they lost the hope. See, once you are actually believing a product and you are taking it, and finally once started using it, and you felt like, this is again you feel uncomfortable with this, obviously you'll get irritated, right? So that's the reason, there's a lot of customers who were having the issue, they started migrating, they started moving into some other cloud platforms. So why can't, during that point of time I was working in Microsoft, I was almost there for 2 days in the office, and I just helped those customers in migrating it to the Azure platform. And why they can also go to Google Cloud, right? They can also go to some other cloud service provider, right? But why they came to the Azure? Because they believe in the product called Microsoft is giving you a good security, and in order to make sure your current IT infrastructure is very secure, they are having a lot of features and tools that they recommend. If you follow the Microsoft recommendations, and if you deploy your infrastructure is completely safe in Microsoft hands. So that's what the Azure product is right now. So let's go back to the PPT and let's see it quickly. So first point is speed. So speed, scale, economic. Speed in the sense faster than traditional application development. You can by using the speed, I mean, in the cloud, you can very fast, you can develop your application and you can deliver to the customer as soon as possible. Because no need to wait for anything, no need to wait for any administrator, or no need to wait for anything. So if you get the approval, you can within a single click, you can start preparing the infrastructure. You can Developers can log into the machine, they can write the code, they can they can implement they can develop the application. But scale, second option, as I said, auto scale feature. It's a good feature. You can scale up the machine, you can scale down the machine whenever you want. It's a kind of good feature. And again, finally, economic, which means a lower cost. That's the reason by all these features. So all the customers outside who are using the traditional IT, so they started migrating their resources into the cloud. Okay, let's quickly go to the next PPT. So these are all the cloud service providers in the market right now. So you see that NetSuite, Amazon, Amazon AWS, Salesforce, Google Cloud, Cisco, IBM Bluemix, Microsoft Azure. So these are all there are a lot many again, but a few I have just mentioned in this PPT. So these are all the cloud service providers similarly like Microsoft Azure. They also provide the same services like what Microsoft is offering you right now. And
Um,
let's go to the next. Yeah, someone is talking.
yeah,
Any
this
doubt
is
regarding this?
yeah, I actually pinged you. The thing is like, what will be the basic difference between this cloud and virtualization technology? So we were able to scale up, scale down, high availability, the DRS, or we were able to do in VMware ESX platform, and even GenApps have this apps hosting, resource availability, everything. So what would be the primary advantage or the difference that we face in using this Azure cloud platform?
So, you are actually hosting, let's say, in virtualization, I think you don't have an option to, host it in different locations. If you are talking about a cloud, so let's say you are using some Gmail application, you don't know where the server is and where it is hosted. But whenever you just type Google gmail.com, it is just within a fraction of a second you are able to access the page if you are having a good internet connection. So similarly, in Azure also, Microsoft has a lot of data centers. Actually, my upcoming slides are about that only. So Microsoft has a lot of data centers in all over the globally, which means like all over the world. Let's say you have in India, if you take, we have a data center in South India, which is in Chennai, and we have in Mumbai region. So we have two data centers in India, and similarly, like each and every country, we have a Microsoft data centers. So what happened here is, let's say you have a customer, he needs an application, your customer is in US region, and if you, let's say if you deploy your resource, if you create an application in South India, and a customer from US is trying to connect your application, it takes a lot of time, right? It takes a lot of time in order to access, or he may get some throttlings, or he may get some performance issues on that in order to access that. It's a long way from US to India, it's a long way distance, right? So by using this Microsoft Azure Data Centers Cloud technology, you can host your application in the US region, in the US Microsoft US data center, not only US. Okay, anywhere in the world. You can, let's say, if your server, one server is in US region, which is nearer to your customer, and another server you can create it in, you can create another server or database in some other region. Okay, so that's how, you can put your applications anywhere in the world, and you can access them at any point of time by using the public, private, or hybrid kind of facility. So that's a major difference between these virtualization platforms and the cloud technology. Did I answer your
Yes.
question?
Yeah, I got it. But my only concern is like earlier we used Zenapps, right, for this
Mhm,
application hosting, and still we were able to do it. So
mhm.
contradicting like in what way like Azure or I'm not talking about Microsoft or AWS. Like in what way like IaaS or PaaS, like in what way they are advantageous over this. Earlier Zenapps or this VM ESX server. ESX server, like we can host the server anywhere, and using
Right.
Zenap can host the application anywhere and make it high available. So in what way it would
Right.
be the primary?
Sure. I will answer the question because we are having the cloud models here. In upcoming sessions, we are going to discuss these cloud models, whatever you told, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So upcoming sessions, I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, just
Yes.
be on mute.
Sure.
If in case if I haven't answered your questions, you can stop and ask me. Okay, after the end
Sure.
of the session. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, Shiva. Thank
Good.
you.
Okay. Welcome. So as I said, we have a lot of cloud technology, cloud platforms like cloud service providers like Amazon. A lot of competitors are there for the Microsoft Azure right now. So let's talk about Azure right now, specifically only about Azure. So what is this Azure? Azure is an open and flexible cloud platform, which means you can deploy your resources, you can deploy and manage applications across global networks. As I said right now, if you want to create an application, it's nowhere. Like you can even create in whichever region you want. Okay, in all regions you have the data centers. Let's say if you have a subscription, you can, whenever you want, you can just deploy it in within fraction of seconds. And right now Microsoft is supporting all kinds of language tools and frameworks. Let's say as I said earlier, you only have the support of .NET, but right now it's supporting all kind of platforms: Python, .NET, uh, Java, AngularJS, everything it is supporting right now. And also you have a wonderful option called public cloud to on-premises integration, which means, you can integrate the cloud with your current IT infrastructure. Let's say it's a kind of sync feature. I think everyone have the Google Photos app in your phone. What it does, let's say if you have taken a phone or photo or selfie, so it, after some time, whenever you're connected to the internet, automatically it starts syncing that particular file with your cloud application. So similarly, you can actually integrate the cloud with your current IT infrastructure. By integrating your cloud with your current IT, you can sync your data between the cloud and your on-premises infrastructure. With this, you're actually making your data backups. Let's say if you want to take a backup or something, and it's easy to, just enable the sync feature, and then you can take the backup of those resources. So not only files, you can take huge amount of data. And the service also, it's easy to sync between your on-premises, and it's easy to communicate between them. So you have this wonderful feature. So let's see the next slide of data centers. So this is a simple slide for the data center. It's an example. So these are all the, racks, and you have all the servers here hosted on this. So this is a Microsoft data center. Let me quickly go to next PPT. Sorry, next slide. In this slide, if you see, as I said, we have a lot of data centers available. What is a data center? Data center consists of current IT infrastructure like servers, database. It's a combination of all this stuff in a single place. So currently we have a 19 plus regions. We have the data centers. It's a kind of old PPT, old slide, guys, because now Microsoft has increased a lot. Now they have 100 plus data centers available over the globally available. And one of the top three networks they are actually using to in order to cover in order to in the world, in order to cover the good speed and in order to provide the good connectivity to the customers. Okay, they are actually using top three networks. So it is double than data centers are double than two times double than AWS and six times double than Google Cloud. So these are and again, currently it's not a G series, it's a H series. Series is nothing but the configuration in Azure. In our upcoming sessions, you're gonna see what is a series and all. You'll understand it. But let's put it in a smaller way. So it's a H series, and if you are using a H series, you're gonna get a configuration of 72 cores. It's not 32, it's 72 cores, and almost like 448 GB RAM. So you just assume 448 GB RAM is not a small thing. Currently, we are just stuck in using just 2 GB or 4 GB. So what they do by using this, let's say you have a task of, currently we are generating huge amount of data, like big data kind of feature. So if you want to, just analyze your data by using the processor or compute, so it's not that easy to just process the data by using your 2 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM or 32 GB RAM. There are some scenarios you need some good compute, so good capacity, good compute features. So then you go with these kind of high-end features. By using these machines, you process your data and then you get the output back from that. So that's the way that, even Azure is also supporting big data here, big data, data science, machine learning. It is supporting everything. So you have such kind of huge configurations here. So you can use those and you can deploy your services. You can, whatever the work you are trying to do, the task can be completed successfully by using these high-end machines. So now quickly go into the cloud models. As I said, these are the important cloud models, because if you just go to the Naukri or any job portals and just type Azure, you get these kind of names. You just come across these names: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, job opportunity. What is this? IaaS job, PaaS admin. What is this PaaS administrator? PaaS. Uh, let's see this in detail. Okay, on premises. As I said in my previous example, on premises in the sense everything you need to manage by yourself. Okay, in this example, as I said, if it is on premise scenario, you need to manage all your servers, you need to put your administrators on your on the field, and then you need to make sure that they are working, and then you need to complete the job. Okay, in order to prepare a server. Okay, here also everything you are actually managing. No one, no nothing. Cloud is not interlinked, or cloud is, it's not related to cloud again. On premises, your infrastructure, completely your investment and your struggle. So you need to manage that complete infrastructure. But let's talk about the cloud models. Here we have three different types of cloud models available. Infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service, which means in the name itself we have the answer, which means they are actually, Microsoft has a lot of infrastructure. Let me quickly open this IaaS. Yeah, if you see this, this is completely up. This slide is about infrastructure as a service. In the name itself, you have the answer: infrastructure as a service, which means Microsoft has the ready-made data centers. They have the data centers in all the regions. Let's say I'm from South India region. I want to use the infrastructure, because if you don't have the infrastructure in cloud, you can't create any application or you can't create any resource, right? So they have the ready-made infrastructure available. They have the servers, they have the databases. And let's say you have a requirement of using a server with some configuration. Okay, you are using Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud. So let's say you request for a server, you just go to Azure portal and just click on create a VM option, create a server option, and then when you hit on create button, within 5 minutes they are actually preparing a machine for you, and they are actually delivering it to you. That machine can be accessible only to you with your username and password and your IP address. So they are actually renting their infrastructure for you. You need to pay as you go basis, which means how much you use, that much you pay. That is the concept there Microsoft is using here right now. Let's say you use it for 10 minutes, you pay for 10 minutes. And if you don't want that machine after 10 minutes, stop that. If you stop it, your billing will be stopped, which means it is paused for some time. And after some time, if you just start it back, the billing is again started. So how many hours you use, that much you pay. And also the configuration. So whenever you are creating a machine, you just get an estimated billing also. Let's say per month, okay, hey guy, when you are actually trying to create a virtual machine, this virtual machine per month, if you continuously, if you use this machine, you will get estimated amount of this much. So you will get such kind of message there, and you can see that. Okay, then you can get an estimation. Okay, this is the cost that I'm going to bear for this month. And if you stop the machine, and if you randomly, whenever you are in office, you can start it back and you can start. So you are actually saving your billing. You can also, instead of doing that manually, you can automate that. You have an automation feature in Azure. So currently, as an administrator, you should also know the automation, because I'm going to cover that automation part, Azure PowerShell scripting. So I will teach you PowerShell scripting in 20 days, and parallelly we are going to see that in our coming sessions. So we're talking about infrastructure as a service. So I got a server. Okay, currently only Microsoft is giving me the infrastructure in IaaS, infrastructure as a service. What about the applications inside it? Let's say a developer wants a Visual Studio application. It's again a cloud administrator job. to deploy the applications, to copy the data. Let's say you want some data inside from your office. Okay, it's your responsibility to put some data inside that. It's your responsibility to select the operating systems and managing the operating system. Let's say Windows randomly they release updates. I think everyone are familiar with the Windows updates, right? Like Windows patching, we call them as. So if you need to install these Windows updates on these machines, so you need to take care of it, as because Microsoft is only giving you the virtualization, server, storage, networking. That's it. It's your responsibility. You need to manage all this stuff: application, data, runtime, middleware, and operating systems inside that. So infrastructure as a service only offers you the infrastructure, the applications that you use inside it, the data that you put inside, everything you need to manage. Let's say Windows patching, Linux server patching. Why do we install the patches? Because in order to make sure that your server is secure, because they will fix the bugs and they will release the new updates. It's your responsibility to update it, and if suddenly something goes wrong and if it is crashed, then the Microsoft is not responsible. Your support engineer who is working as a cloud support, cloud admin, that is his responsibility to make sure that server is back online. And I'm going to teach you all the troubleshooting stuff. Okay, and let's quickly move into PaaS, platform as a service. If you see here, whatever the customer managing options are decreased right now. So if you see in the upcoming session in the IaaS, you have almost like five options you are managing, which is admin is managing or customer is managing. But if you see here, now those few options are being managed by Microsoft. Okay, not the customer. Why? Application and data. This is a platform as a service. It's a hotcake in the market right now, because platform as a service, Microsoft will give you the services. Let's say the best example for the platform as a service in Azure is apps, Azure apps. It may be a mobile app, desktop app, or what do you say, web applications. It may be any code, .NET, Java, Python, or anything. So in these sections, if you want to use apps or if you want to use the databases, so this platform as a service is the best service that Microsoft is offering. So they are actually taking care of everything. Let's talk about a small difference between an IaaS and PaaS with a small example. Let me open the print. So IaaS. Now PaaS. So in IaaS, you want to create an application, okay, web application, which means a website. So you in traditional way, what you do in real time, so you use the server, right? You use the server. Let's take a Windows server, because everyone are familiar with the Windows operating system, so we'll take Windows server. If you are using IaaS, Microsoft will give you the infrastructure. Okay, they will create a Windows server for you. Just you need to select that option. Okay, once you click on create, they will create a Windows server for you with a configuration, and it's your responsibility to make sure that all the security updates are installed and up to the date. Because if you don't update them properly, then your machine is at risk. So you need to take care of the patching part, as I said, updates, maintenance. Let's say you want to take that server into maintenance. Let's say if it is online for almost like 1 month or 2 months, you need to at least you need to take that server into maintenance, and you need to at least do some maintenance activity. Let's say you need to restart or stop the machine and start it back. It's a kind of maintenance stuff you need to take. So there are a lot of stuff like that you need to do for that IaaS machine. But in here, you are actually, if you want to host a website on the server, you need to install IaaS feature. IaaS, right? Internet Information Services. In order to make this as a web server, you need to install this feature, and you need to copy your code. Let's say a developer wrote a code, and you need to copy that code by using some transfer of FileZilla, or this kind of file transfer protocol softwares. So by using these kind of softwares, you just upload your data inside the server, and then by using the IP address, you can able to access your web application. So entire stuff, this is the entire process you need to take care in order to maintain a server. Let's say if you have not installed, you have installed the updates and you have not done the maintenance activity, but these updates need a restart. So unfortunately, let's say you have a huge let's talk about this IRCTC application. So everyone know about this railway application, Indian railway application. So this is a piece of software, web application. It is having huge load at 10:30, because everyone start booking tickets on that time, during that time. So at that point of time, you have a huge load on that machine. Let's think this is the IRCTC backend server, and if there is a web application, IRCTC application hosted on this server. 10:30, people started logging into this machine. There will be huge load. The CPU started rising up to the 100%, and then suddenly it goes, which means it's suddenly down. It goes down, which means it may be restart, or it just suddenly it got restarted, or suddenly it got shut down due to the load, heavy load. So then your application is offline. No one can able to see that. You'll get a 404 error, or some kind of error on your screen whenever you search for some website, IRCTC website. So it's completely a mess, right? You are actually managing everything. Why? So by using this latest technology, the PaaS, platform as a service offering, in this offering, Microsoft is only going to take care of the infrastructure and also its maintenance. No need to bother about it. Let's say the same scenario, I have a server. So let's say I have app service. In PaaS, we have two components here: app services. You use app services and you use databases. So in apps, you created an app, okay, by using app service. It's very quick and easy to create. In order to make sure this web application is up and online, at least it needs 30 minutes in IaaS. But in PaaS, it's only a matter of 2 minutes. You can directly put your code and you can directly host your application. And what about the maintenance? Let's say take the same IRCTC example. At 10:30 p.m., 10:30 a.m., you are getting a huge load onto this machine. As this infrastructure is not being managed by us, it is being managed by Microsoft. They will replicate this machine with some other server. So let's say whatever the data you have in the server, that will be replicated with some other server in some other data center or within the data center. Now let's say due to some heavy load, this is down. Okay, then there is always there you have the replicated data, right? With this, your app will be running. You don't feel like, okay, oh, is it like my application is not accessible? Seems like, okay, Microsoft in data center my server is down. No, you don't need to worry about that part, because they have this second server or third server available for you, and it makes sure that whenever one machine is down, automatically by using the second server, your app will be up and online. Your business, there will be no, one second guys, there will be no issues with the infrastructure. You don't face any kind of infrastructure issues because everything is being managed by Microsoft Azure. Then what about the support engineers? Let's say you have 3 administrators right now, cloud administrators for this IaaS solution, and these 3 guys are supporting the platform. But in PaaS, only one guy is more than enough in order to manage this, because he just need to create an app service in the portal, right? He's not doing anything from the backend. But this PaaS offering is little bit costly. Okay, costly in the sense, in the terms of, because everything is being managed by Microsoft, and as this is managed by Microsoft, you need to pay for them a little bit extra. Let's say you are charging here for 1500 rupees per month. You need to pay for 2000 rupees kind of stuff. Depends upon the configuration, guys. It's not like 2000 or 1500. Whatever the configuration you select, you need to pay for that. So it's a small example between the IaaS and PaaS. So in PaaS, as Microsoft is managing your current infrastructure, and what you need to take care. So you need to only take care of your application that you put inside the server. So whatever the application the developers write the code, right? You need to take care of your code or application. So you're only responsible to manage that. So it's your responsibility to take a backup of a code and your application. And in case, let's say, in last year, I think last year or before last year, we got a floods in Chennai region. So South India data center is closed for a few days because of the floods. So there are some scenarios. Let's think you have hosted this application in South India data center, and it's a complete South India data center is gone. Then what about your application? What about the code? So in that scenario, they use the replication methods between data center sync. So they use the fabric cables. It's a huge fabric cables. By using these fabric cables, they transfer the data to another data center, and then they make sure that customers' data is secure and online 24/7. That's how this PaaS environment and IaaS environment works. And if you see the diagram, you can clearly understand this is the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, because it's being managed by customer. And if you see the PaaS, platform as a service, it's being managed by customer. Only 2 parts, like application and its data. Now the final cloud service model is called software as a service. Software as a service. This part we are not going to touch mostly because
Sorry to
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you please explain that the previous paint which you have drawn? And yeah, actually, I just
Okay.
missed some point. Like how these are different. Like I mean to say.
Let me explain this once again, guys. Let me use a new one because it seems like very messy. So IaaS and PaaS. Okay, in IaaS, let's take a server. You just created a server in order to host an application. So server in the sense it may be a Windows or Linux. Okay, if it is a Linux or Windows, so in infrastructure as a service, Microsoft is gonna provide only the infrastructure. Just they will give you a server, a blank server, empty server, with the configurations that you select. Let's say you selected a storage of some 500 GB and some networking features within this range. So they'll just give you the infrastructure in order to work on that. Now it's your responsibility. So let's say you want to host some web application on this. You need to enable IIS feature. So in order to make this server web server, you need to enable this Internet Information Services feature. Then only the service will become a web server. And you can put your application, you can copy the application inside this, and then you can host your application. Let's say we have taken an example of IRCTC. IRCTC is a piece of software, piece of application where we can book some railway tickets, Indian railway tickets. So by let's say we are hosting this application on this server, and due to some at 10:30 we have a huge load on this machine. Sometimes if something goes wrong, okay, this server will go down because it's being managed by you, and it's your responsibility to work on that machine, and you need to bring that machine back online. So it's your responsibility. Okay, you need to bring that back. So I ask, you are actually managing the just Microsoft is only giving the infrastructure. You are actually managing everything. Windows, you need to take care of the updates, and you need to take down that machine to the maintenance mode for after a few days, and then you need to install that IaaS feature. You need to make sure that the server became a web server, and then you need to cross check the load on this. So there are a lot of stuff that you need to take care on this IaaS part. As Microsoft is only giving you the infrastructure, you need to take care of all this stuff. So in order to prepare this machine for as a web server, and in order to host our application on this, it at least it takes you some 20 to 25 minutes or 30 minutes at least to bring your application up and online. But if you talk about PaaS, platform as a service, platform as a service consists of app services in Azure. You can in my upcoming sessions you can see this, what is app service and what it does. Okay, databases, these services comes under PaaS, platform as a service. Let's say the same example, same IRCTC example. So you no need to, let's say you want to create IRCTC application and you want to make it available to the public, and let's say you don't need to manage any infrastructure here. Microsoft is gonna take care of your infrastructure. Infra in the sense, your task is to just create an app service, and then you can put your code inside that just by using some FileZilla or a WinSCP kind of tools. Just upload the code and your application will be online. No need, because backend will be for this app service also, backend will be a server. It will ask you whenever you are creating an app service, it will ask you whether you want to go with a Windows server or a Linux server. Okay, you will select the just operating system name. Let's say I want to go with Windows. A Windows server will be deployed within 2 to 3 minutes. Within 2 minutes, your PaaS resource app service app is up and online. Complete a package of server along with IaaS web server, and the configurations that you select, machine will be up and online within 2 minutes. You can host directly. Just copy paste your code into this app service, and then your app will be online to each and everyone. So backend, what about, let's say you got a huge load and backend is not being managed by you. Microsoft is managing your infrastructure. If any issues happen on this server, let's say due to some performance issue the machine is gone, you can even report this issue to the Microsoft by using support request. Then Microsoft is going to take a look at that machine, and then they will make sure that your services are up and online by as this is being managed by Microsoft, and you are paying for them, because PaaS is a really costly because Microsoft managing that infrastructure, and here IaaS is little bit cheap because you are managing the infrastructure here. So that's a quite difference between IaaS and PaaS. So any doubts regarding this?
Okay, thanks, Shiva. Shiva, my doubt was like we are just hosting the web server, and in PaaS, what about the backend server like database server? Will that also be managed by Microsoft in PaaS?
Database, yes, you have the access to the database. You can create n number of databases, but the backend you no need to support like database patching or whatever the stuff you do in real time, right? That you are not going to take care of that. That everything is being managed by Microsoft only here. If it is IaaS scenario, you have the option of creating a database and apps similarly, but you have to take care of that database. You have to put some SQL administrators or Oracle administrators, and they need to take some maintenance window, and then they need to work on that in IaaS. So PaaS database is being managed by Microsoft only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good. Okay, guys. Next, the last one, but not the least. Let me go to the PPT. So software as a service. Software as a service is nothing but this part. A best example for this software as a service is Office 365. I think everyone heard about this Office 365. So in this Office 365, like we are using MS Office right now because Microsoft is offering as a software as a SaaS offering. So Office 365 is purely a SaaS offering. Let me explain you a quick example. We will go with a quick example. Why Office 365 as a SaaS offering and why they are using MS Office in MS Office 2016 is purely a software as a service. Because let's go back to our old times. So like let's say like 5 to 4 years back, we are using some MS Office 2007, right? So this application, let's say you don't have this application on your machine. You request your friend, you give your pen drive to him, he just copy that application. Along with that application, he will also copy the license for you. License, you are actually getting a license in a text file or doc file. So what you will do, you'll install that piece of software and you'll just use that license, which means you're pirating that application. It's again a violation, software violation policy against the violation policy. So now if you are actually doing this, Microsoft, what about the investment? Let's say in order to prepare a software, they are actually using a lot of developers. They are paying a lot of developers in order to prepare this product. And once they launch this product, and if you are not purchasing a license from Microsoft, and if you are pirating that application with your friend license, automatically there is a loss, business loss, revenue loss, right? So in order to overcome this scenario, overcome this situation, now softwares are being managed by SaaS platform. What happens here is now let's say you have the server. Let's say developers developed this 2016 MS Office 2016 application. Then what they will do, this is a server, guys. In this server you have that application right now. The product is ready to launch. What they will do is they will host this in cloud platform. They'll put the code in the SaaS. Software as a service is nothing but a cloud platform offering. Now they will host the code in the cloud environment. In cloud, they'll put it now as the end user. We are the users. So let's say I am the user. Let's say you are having one of your friend machine, and he purchased the license. So in order to purchase the license, you should have at least any Microsoft account like Hotmail account, Outlook account, or some kind of accounts. So let's say, but nowadays everyone are having Outlook and Hotmail because they are free of cost. So let's say you have an account. So he logged into that and he purchased that because he would like to purchase that, and he purchased it. Then after that, he got the setup file downloaded into his machine, and he can install that. And no license, nothing. License is not being managed by, it's not, you are not getting any license file along with the setup, just only a setup file you are getting. You are installing that. So once installation process is done, he can able to access that application. Let's say you have not purchased that application. You got a copy of that. You got the setup file copy in a pen drive to your machine. You just try to install that. So when you are trying to install that piece of software in your machine, it will give a pop-up. It will connect to the cloud server and it will ask you to log in with your Microsoft account. Either it may be a Hotmail account or it may be a Outlook account. Once you enter your username and password. Let's say if you have used your friend's password, then obviously you can able to download that because he is having their license. Let's say you don't have the permissions, and if you want to use it, then obviously it says, hey, you don't have a proper license, please purchase the license. And it's authenticating you here, authenticating it with your IP address. It's just storing the IP address, it's just securing its application. In cloud platform, you are actually, in order to use an application, you should be a valid, genuine user. Then only it will allow you to download that file and it will allow you to use that service. So software as a service is a kind of, in this place, you can make sure your application is up and online 24/7, and you can secure your licenses, and you can avoid the pirating stuff. Like, let's say if you are trying to pirate, then it will not allow you to do that, because you need to authenticate first, then only you are eligible to use that service and the product. So that's how they have restricted, and they are hosting it in SaaS. But right now in Azure, we are not going to see, in our 7533, we are not going to cover this software as a service. It's not a part of our course. We are only concentrating on IaaS and PaaS, as these are the, as anyhow, SaaS is also Microsoft offering. Completely, administration for SaaS is completely different right now, but we are going to cover IaaS and PaaS for 7533. Okay. So I think I'm done with the PPT. If you see this same PPT, this is the example that I've explained. So currently in this server, software consists of 2016 application that I have hosted in the cloud. And then everyone, by using the internet connection, they can connect to this, but they should have a proper license in order to access that application. This is the kind of software as a service. In IaaS and PaaS, you are getting the infrastructure, but here you are actually hosting your application on the cloud. So for this, again, you have a different software as a service portal, Azure portal, in order to host your application, in order to manage. You have a SaaS administrators, different SaaS administrators. But here in IaaS and PaaS in 7533, we are gonna concentrate on this, and we are gonna see the troubleshooting part, how to manage. The benefit that you're gonna get if you take my course, my 7533 course, is, as I said, I worked in Microsoft earlier. So I worked in a global support team where, let's say, a service, let's say a IaaS virtual machine is down, and as a support engineer, you started troubleshooting that issue, and you don't know what's the issue, and you can't able to connect to that machine. In earlier, like VMware and these kind of platforms has the console option. Let's say if your machine is down, you can go to the console and you can check it, what happened in the back, and what's the status of virtual machine. In Azure, you don't have that facility. You need to raise a support request. For that, again, you need to pay. There are different types of support plans. You need to pay for that plan monthly basis. Like, it's like 6,000. There are a lot of support plans available in market right now. If you just pay that, then Microsoft support engineer, let's say, depends upon the priority. So let's say you are using, we have support basic, standard, enterprise. There are kind of support plans, but each and every support plan doesn't support priority one. The premium support plan only has a priority one support request eligibility, which means, let's say you got some issue, a virtual machine is down, it's your production virtual machine. That's a P1 scenario, priority one. You have to take that as a priority one, and you have to fix that issue. But in fact, you have only a standard support plan. You don't have an option to raise it. So sorry, if it is a basic support plan, you don't have an option to raise a priority one support request. So what you need to do, you need to upgrade your support plan. You are actually investing a lot of money, and then you are wasting your time. Anyhow, you are actually losing your business because the server is down. So what I'm gonna cover in this session is, in our sessions is, I'm gonna cover that backend troubleshooting part also, as I have worked in that platform there. So by using PowerShell, by using the portal techniques, so we have a lot of troubleshooting techniques here. So by using those techniques, we are gonna resolve whatever the Microsoft support engineer is gonna tell you. I'm gonna teach you those troubleshooting part, and instead of going to the support team, you can only fix that issue in few minutes, and you can bring your services back online, and you can serve your company. That's what I'm gonna cover in our troubleshooting. I think if you don't get the course content, just check with the Visual Path team. Just go to the course, just see. And also the important topic is migrations. So in my sessions, I'm gonna cover the migrations also, because nowadays each and every companies in the market, they are actually migrating from on-premises to the cloud because of the cost and the good features that are available in the cloud. So I'm gonna cover server migrations like Windows and Linux. It may be Windows or Linux, and I'm going to cover data migrations. It may be a critical data, or it may be something data migrations to the cloud. So next, databases migration, and I'm going to show you Active Directory. Sorry, application migration. It may be a database oriented application, or it may be a normal web application or any mobile applications. I'm going to show you that how to migrate these kind of applications, and I'm going to show you Active Directory sync. Active Directory also we're gonna discuss about basic Active Directory and what is that functionality of the Active Directory, and after that we'll see what is the difference between on-premises Active Directory and Azure Active Directory. So, and then I will also show you how to migrate the current Active Directory to Azure and how to sync that with cloud. So I'm gonna show you that Active Directory sync. Active Directory. So these are all the migration stuff we are gonna cover. This is in addition in our sessions. I have worked in support a team as a migration engineer also for almost like 1.5 years. I've worked in migrations part. So definitely I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna help you migration failure issues. So we are gonna do it automatically. We are gonna do it manually. So anyhow, I'm gonna teach you the automation stuff also by using automation. Whatever the support engineers they are doing it manually, I can help you in doing that automatically. Okay, by using Azure PowerShell script. But don't worry, guys. I will also teach you parallelly. Let's say we are creating a server in Azure portal today, and I'll teach you same day. I will teach you how to create the same server by using PowerShell also. I'll teach you the commands, and do remember there is nothing to write from the scratch in the PowerShell because I have all the scripts available. I will share it with you and make sure that you are not sharing with some other one. Okay. So that's all about the session, and that's all about the demo part. And these are the important points that I would like to cover. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, guys.
Hi, Shiva, this is Somesh here. I
Somesh.
just want to ask before starting the Azure course, so what are the prerequisites language we need, like any database or any scripting language, Python or anything?
If you are you talking about the administration part? Azure administration,
yes.
or okay.
Yes.
Then if you are looking for the Azure administration part, no prerequisites are required. Let's say you don't need to have any knowledge on scripting or any language tools, because I'm gonna teach you from the scratch. Okay, Azure PowerShell, Azure PowerShell scripting is different, and Azure PowerShell is different. You need to install some Azure module, and we have certain commands. So easy commands we have, and by using those Azure PowerShell, we are gonna achieve the automation stuff. So it's no prerequisites are required, and you can easily learn this platform within 30 days. And I make sure that after 30 days, you're gonna definitely pass the 7533 certification.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome.
You are only teaching in portal, also supporting Azure PowerShell, and total concepts are Azure virtual machines, and also phones.
Yeah, yes. Everything I'm gonna cover, because Azure Cloud Support Engineer know about the storage part. You should know about the networking part, because the only guy who manages all the infrastructure, right? So I'm gonna cover topic by topic. And today we are talking about compute part. I will explain you about the servers, and tomorrow if you are talking about networking part, I'll explain you the basic concepts of network, virtual network, them by using Azure portal, and how to create them by using PowerShell. Sorry, someone is asking something.
Sorry, Shiva, like I thought you.
Okay, so my voice is audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to tell you is, see, I'm going to explain you topic by topic, and clearly I'll explain you in detailed concepts, and I'm going to explain you same time I'm going to explain you the PowerShell also, how to create the same resource and same networking components using PowerShell. So because if let's say if your portal, if sometimes there are some scenarios in order to automate the infrastructure. Let's say your company gave some task to you. Let's say they have some few servers, and after Friday they are not going to use those machines, and Saturday Sunday it's useless to run those machines, because you will generate some waste billing. So in order to avoid that excess billing, okay, you write some script, okay, automation script. And if you schedule that job, what happens here is every Friday evening automatically those machines will be shut down, and Monday morning again those machines will come up online when you come to the office by 9 o'clock. So these kind of tasks that you can do it by using the Azure automation. I'll make sure, guys, you completely learn this PowerShell automation, and also the platform, okay, Azure platform. And I make sure that you clear the 7533 after 30 days of my course.
You are also discussion about the ARM templates also.
ARM templates, yes, we are gonna talk about ARM templates. We are gonna see how to deploy those ARM templates, because a few of the guys are new to the cloud platform. So I haven't used that ARM option because they make it confused in the first day demo itself. So if you see my course content, I have mentioned that also ARM templates deployment. Yes, we are gonna see that.
Okay, thank you.
Shiva, just curious, like, how will you will we be seeing topics on Azure with in a DevOps perspective? Like, how will we integrate with DevOps?
So Azure administration and Azure DevOps is completely different right now. So DevOps, you have a lot of concepts in that: continuous integration, continuous delivery. You need to use the tool called Visual Studio Team Services. Currently, I'm into the DevOps background only, but I'm an architect. I'm a senior architect in one of the MNC's firm, and I'm working as a team lead for that company. And don't worry, guys. But after this, Azure. Almost like I'm preparing the content for the Azure DevOps. Currently, if you see in the market, you don't have the Azure DevOps available in the market. So I am actually preparing the content for that. Within 2 more weeks, I'm gonna start Azure DevOps course also. So if anyone interested after this Azure, you can take that Azure DevOps and you can start learning. Sorry, Azure DevOps also. Let me take some water.
Oh, okay. But we need to do that as a separate course only, right?
Sorry, your voice.
I was asking, like, should we?
Barely I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was asking, like, it will be dealt in a separate session only.
Yeah, it's completely a DevOps is completely a different platform again. We are gonna see it in a different training again. DevOps is completely a different training. Now Azure Administration 7533. This complete session is all about 7533 Azure Administration. Just you learn about the platform, how to deploy the resources, how to troubleshoot the resources, how to troubleshoot the deployments. But DevOps is next level. Like after you learn the platform, then you implement continuous integration and continuous delivery in order to deliver the project very fast. Let's say a customer came to your company and he says like, hey, I need this product by end of this month, and you have only 20 days left. And by using the CI/CD, you make your developers, you make your support team work, and you just set up this automation a piece of software called DevOps, Azure DevOps. By using this, you deliver the project within time, within 30 days. So that's how you integrate it. That's completely a different session. Once we arrange a demo, I'll let you know. I'll speak with the management and I'll make sure that I will get the link for that. You can join the demo and you can hear what's the Azure DevOps and what we are gonna integrate in Azure DevOps. Okay.
And Shiva,
Yep.
and at the end of the session, will you share any recording? Because sometimes I have to go office in the morning sessions. Okay, so
Yes. If it is an online session, every day recording, you will get it from the Visual Path Management. So they will share you the recording. If let's say if you miss the session today, and you will get the recording from the management, you can whenever you want in your free time you can watch that. And if you have any doubts, so how my session goes every day is like, let's say today we have done the first session, and tomorrow I'll give some task for you guys. You need to, whenever you have some free time, you can practice that. And let's say you got some doubts tomorrow, first 15 minutes will be like the issue discussion in the sense, let's say you got some issues or you got some doubts. We are going to discuss that in the first 15 minutes of the session, and after that we are going to cover the next topics. So that's how my sessions will be there. So every day you will be getting a recording session, maybe from Google Drive, or I'm not sure how they are going to send you. Maybe you will get it from the mail only. They'll send you a daily class to your email, so you can access that and you can download that video and you can.
okay, because we are working in 24/7, so definitely
Okay, cool, got you.
at least for 5-6 sessions. So that's it. Okay,
Right.
thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. I think I have answered all the questions. Or if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we can wind up this session for today. And hope we'll see you soon in the next upcoming sessions of Azure Demo 2533. The timings, fees, everything. Yeah, sorry.
Timings.
Yeah, timings, fees, everything you need to check with the Visual Path Management. Just check with the Visual Path Management, and then they will update you the timings and the batch is going to start and all. Okay, accordingly, as per the everyone's feasibility, we'll just schedule this during morning hours, and then we'll wrap up the session.
Yeah, thank you.
One more thing is, are you going to cover all the services which are come under PaaS, right?
Yes, of course, I'm gonna cover that.
Because we have, and the pipelines is come under DevOps or come under PaaS?
DevOps.
The pipelines is
Pipelines. You're talking about Visual Studio pipelines, right? CI/CD
ADF
pipelines.
pipeline. Yeah, ADF.
Okay, got you. DevOps. It comes under DevOps.
Okay.
Hi Shiva, I just pinged you a few questions.
Oh, sorry, I think I was missed. Okay, a lot of messages are there. My screen is shared. Let me stop my screen. May I know your name, please? Because a lot of guys pinged in the chat, so I may not be aware of your name. So, may I know your name, please?
Yes.
Hello? Sorry?
Nikhilesh.
English. Okay. Okay, I could see your messages. Okay, you're working in DB Oracle currently. And, okay, so it's okay. See, Niklesh, I can see that you are working in some Oracle background, and if you would like to switch to Azure, and let's say Azure is also supporting Oracle. So let's say you are the Oracle DB admin, and you want to switch it to Azure, and let's learn about the platform, how this Azure platform works. And there are a lot of let's say Azure is also supporting Oracle databases, and you once you know the platform, how to deploy all these databases in cloud environment, and then you can provide the support for that. So it's easy. Don't worry about the platform perspective. It's really easy. You can take the course, and you can know once you are done with the course, you can start implementing, or you can start preparing your DB Oracle DBs in Azure, and you can do some automation stuff for that. So
Okay.
So Kumar Kalangi has pinged me that prerequisites for Azure development part. So prerequisites in the sense there is no prerequisites. Actually, you need to be perfect in any of the language, like a developing language like Java or .NET or Python. Let's say you choose Python. Python is right now hot kicking. If you want to go with Python, you should know about the Python module, and you should completely aware of Python development. And once you are ready with that, if you take 7532, it's a developer certification. If you have taken that, you can know how to use that Python in Azure, and how to develop the code or write the code, and in order to prepare your applications. So that's how it works. And any questions in the chat? Okay, Siddharth, okay, I have seen your message. And the agenda and the complete course, the content, everything you can get it from the management, because I have already shared, and I'm handling a couple of batches from long time. So you can just check with the management. I have the course content, and I have shared the latest updated course content with automation. So please check with them, and you'll get the updates accordingly. And the timings, fees, everything you can check with the management.
Okay, thanks, Shiva.
Yep, welcome. So, okay, guys, I think I have answered all the questions. So thanks for your time for joining today. Soon we'll see in the Azure 7533 classes. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions or something, just check with the management, so that if any technical concerns or something, you can every time you can speak with me. They will schedule a meeting with me, so that we can have a call, and we can discuss on this. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Shiva.
Thanks so much. Thanks for joining today. Thank you. Happy weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you.